New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Coming up on this Positive Friday, thank God the weekend is finally here. We will drink, we will toast with a shot of the day. Then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault.
Shame on. The website used science and math to determine the most hated bands of all time. They actually created an algorithm to do it. So we have going up against the number one band that people hate of all time, the number two band, which would be Limp Bizkit. Yeah. Science says you don't like Fred Durst.
Science is wrong.
No, science nailed this one.
His bank account would tell you differently. That is taking on the number one hated band in all the land. The guys up north in Nickelback.
'Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny 'cause we just won't eat.
Wrong code. This is the Quesadilla song, right?
It is.
I believe it is.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
everybody on Twitter has said, Miles, this is already the song.
Okay, sorry. These are your choices on Bad Choice Friday. Will it be Limp Bizkit and Nookie or Nickelback and Rockstar? Neither one of those two tunes suck so bad, so it's not going to be the worst Bad Choice Friday.
I would go to that concert.
I would too.
What, Nickelback, Limp Bizkit?
You probably
Yes.
you probably get laid.
There's got to be a 20, Jesus.
It's gotta be
a
21
ton
of
of people my age. Some maybe are divorced already.
I see what you're doing there.
You just got to get through that first marriage, Ted. That's all good.
Well, not me.
They're old enough. They're on part two.
Our question, what dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? We head down to Florida. There is a 48-year-old guy named Joseph Davis, and he met not one but two women about 6 years ago through OkCupid. One in Orlando, Florida, and one in Orange City, Florida. And he's been in serious relationships with both of them since that time 6 years ago.
All right.
Well, he used a fake name in both relationships. One woman knew him as Joe Brown, and one knew him as Marcus Brown. Joseph proposed to the Orlando girlfriend, but he recently decided he wanted to propose to the Orange City one too. So he stole the engagement ring he'd given to his fiancée to give to his other girlfriend.
Damn.
The Orlando woman figured out something was wrong when she started searching on Facebook, and she spotted the Orange City woman wearing the ring. The woman then got in touch with each other and then the police. And on Thursday, they put out an arrest warrant for Joseph, who still has not been apprehended. Our question, what dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Justin. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Positive Friday.
Positive Friday.
Oh, one quick thing about Delaware.
Yeah.
Only thing I know about Delaware is Wayne's World, and that's good enough for me.
Okay, we're going to Delaware.
That's about it, yeah.
That was the only quote.
Look, we're in Delaware.
Hey. How long till we're out of Delaware?
I will say this. Dewey Beach, if you're 25 to 40.
It's great.
For a weekend,
Sure.
it is awesome.
Mm-hmm. Not when
for a weekend.
The alternative was South Korea, I'm just saying. But please continue.
All right, so there was this girl that I was seeing for a bit, and she said she was moving, and I was trying to impress. So I was like, "Oh, I'll help you move." It was just a 1-bedroom apartment. Well, when I got there, it turned out we were moving to 1-bedroom apartment, and then her mom's boyfriend's 4-bedroom house into a 5-bedroom house from Seattle to Renton.
Oh.
Yeah, so I get it all in my golf. Well, her room in my golf. We go to Redmond, help unload the whole thing, and then we start setting up her room. And she's like, "Hey, my mom gave me a condom." And I'm like, "I am so beat right now. There is no way."
You had to turn it down?
Dude, I was hurting so freaking bad, like I could barely see straight. I was the biggest dude there, so of course I had to lift everything.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I could get hit by a car. And if she's like, "I know you're bleeding out," be like, "Let's do it."
Yeah, the worse off I am, like, the hornier I get. I swear to God. I could be laying in a hospital bed. You know what I mean? Like, the nurse walks in, I'm like, "Oh, maybe this is the time."
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm asleep on my couch. It's like all sick and nasty. I'm like, "Come over here, make love to me. I don't feel well."
Ignore my breath and my temperature.
Right, exactly. I don't want to get sick.
Did you ever end up with this woman?
No, so after that, so she was there for like a month, and then she decided to move to Oregon.
Ah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, well, that's freaking wonderful. And actually, funny story, I was actually about to hop a train to go see her in Oregon, and then she found her real dad and then moved all the way to Illinois.
Okay.
Found her real dad.
Okay.
Wow. That just wasn't meant to be, player.
No.
That is how that started.
Finally, I found my real dad. I'm going to move to him.
Okay.
Yeah, and the guy I never knew.
Miles, I'm with you on this one. I get being tired, but you put in all that work.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, I could put in more work.
I mean,
That's like saying there's one more box we got to get downstairs.
I can't do it. Like, you would do it.
Like, all right, I'll go get it.
And people always say the heaviest things, right? Like, "Help me move the piano." Somehow you find the energy. So certainly they said, "Well, do you want to move the piano or do you want to have sex?" I'm having sex.
I've been barely able to walk for 2 days because I shoveled snow. If I had a chance to get laid, I still will try.
Yeah, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
Do it out in the
I
snow.
got to fight through it. Might not be able to do everything, but I can't even bend over and touch my toes. What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
I bet you could make it.
Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hola.
Yeah, so a few years back, I had a Chinese girlfriend that she was a part of the mob, and like I knew it. I knew it. You know, I didn't participate in it, but I didn't put as much distance between that life of hers and myself as I should have. And after a while, I knew I was being followed for probably about a 6-month period. Finally, the FBI came knocking on my door one morning and raided my house, took all of my electronics, they seized my bank account, and they kind of held it as leverage and said, like, "Hey, we know you're not really part of it, but if you roll on your girlfriend and everybody she knows, we'll give you all your stuff back." And I didn't, and it took me 2 years to fight it, and like $40,000-$50,000 in lawyer bills, bail bondsman. I had to work 2 full-time jobs just to pay everything and keep afloat. Yeah, it was definitely an experience that I wouldn't want to repeat.
Wait, how long did you date this woman?
So I had been dating her for a couple of years by the time that the FBI came looking for me.
And what put an end to the relationship?
I mean, it was just she kept wanting to involve me more, and I was at the point like, "Hey, I've already been through so much already. I don't want anything to do with this. I'll date you. I don't care, but like you can't involve me even in the slightest way at this point." And she didn't, and that was just kind of the end of it.
That's probably the smartest move.
Yeah,
sure. Man. There's
you
nothing.
don't need to go to jail for someone else's.
Especially after the FBI has already.
That's kind of a
commandeered your
different
stuff,
level.
man.
You know what I mean? It's not like you stole something out of the Radio Shack.
Right.
Well, and Thrill's right. I mean, people have run-ins with cops and stuff. You might go to you can go to court or whatever, but like, if the feds show up on your door and they already have a case made, like there's not much people can do.
And I feel like
because they don't randomly show up.
No, and the feds are a different level than cops.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've dealt with cops. I've had enough knucklehead friends where you deal with cops. Cops are looking for them. And no offense to cops, but inevitably, it's like being in trouble with your mom. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, it kind of sucks, but I can spot
It's also weird.
The feds are the moment your father got home and your mom actually owned up to, "I'm going to tell your father when he gets home." It's like, it's just a different level of things that come down. Same crime, but you
know what you're getting. Well, it's like getting pulled over. If you got pulled over by the Seattle City Police, whoever gets out of the car, they're going to have all their stuff on. They're going to look pretty big, you know what I mean? But they're not going to be huge. You get pulled over by the Washington State Patrol. I just have this idea in my head. Whoever gets out of that car is like 6'7". Mm-hmm. It's just like, the State Patrol is always just like these big ass mountain men. And I just found out not too long, probably a year ago, that somebody I'm associated or somebody I know from somebody else, what his wife does. And she works for the FBI. Now, if you saw her come into a bar, you would think, wow, that's a pretty attractive woman for her age, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Looks like she works out, blah, 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 blah. The fact that she's in the FBI scares the living hell out of me.
Yeah, I don't like that
because you can't identify her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't just have that look. You can tell when a cop walks into someplace. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
cops, firemen, right? Even plain clothes, you still move like a cop.
She does detective work. And I just thought to myself, oh, man, they're sneaky.
It's like my brother's wife, man, my sister-in-law. She works for the ATF. And I don't even like talking to her about just my life. You know what I mean? She's like, dude, I don't care. I'm like, you say that. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you do or not, but like I'm one of the last people that I know.
Well, the only thing that you don't do out of them is the firearms.
That's about
you got the alcohol and the tobacco thing down.
Well, she's like, yeah, they don't worry about people like you. I'm like, because you don't know Tim. I'm telling you right now, man. I'm
going to clean your house out next time I stay.
I am not having conversations with you. I just because I get it, and it freaks me out that you work for the Fed, man.
I told you the best one I heard is I have a friend. Either way, he works for the NSA. Right, but he's from South Carolina, so he's with a southern drawl. So he's always like, "Yeah, I'm a mechanic." Right, but he's always, he travels a lot, and he's a mechanic. So one day, my buddy's all, it's the next morning. We're kind of hungover on this tailgate trip, and he's like, "Hey, man, let me ask you a question. What is it you do?" And he goes, "Shawnee, you talk and we listen."
What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
I mean, it's the whole room shut up. Was like, oh, he's being honest.
The only thing I would say about the NSA, right, clandestine group, they do all the secret stuff. If you're in the Washington, D.C. area and you're looking for the NSA, the secret thing. Mm-hmm. They have one of the biggest goddamn roads on NSA, right? Yeah. I mean, it's everything they do is supposed to be hush-hush. But if you're looking for the NSA building, like every goddamn sign in D.C. will take you right to it.
It does. And when you get off that exit, it says, if you are not going to the NSA, do not get off this exit. Mm-hmm. It basically just says that. Like, this will steer you right into the front door of this place. If you are not going here,
turn around now.
And if you get stuck in that place, and you got to go through the parking lot,
we'll see you.
Got to get your car searched. You got to go through the zigzag stuff, all the crap, the barricades, the barriers, and everything else. It's a nightmare if you accidentally get off that exit.
My wife and I, man, I don't know who it was that was following us. Probably FBI, I'm guessing. I don't know. But we're trying to return our rental car. This is in D.C., but it's like 4:30 in the morning, and it's in this little area called Crystal City. And if you don't know how to get there, which we did not, it's almost impossible to do on your own. That's just kind of the way D.C. works, right? So we're on the phone calling the guy like, hey, man, we just need to know what exit to take. Because we can see you, but there's no way to get there, right? So we keep going around and around. My wife's like, hey, man, there's like an SUV following us. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just whatever. Someone else is out driving. We do another loop, still trying to get there. Now there's like 4 of them, but they're all exactly the same. And I'm like, look, we need to find this goddamn player. They're going to shoot us, man. They are going. It is freaky. It is creepy. But when they finally see, and basically they followed us until we dropped the car off. And when they saw that we're dropping it off, they all just pulled away.
That's weird.
It's like, yeah, it's weird, man.
What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jeff. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
And before I get to my story really quick, you guys always make me homesick because we used to take bags of Little Tavern hamburgers to the Orioles games.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
So anyway, what dumbass thing did I do for love? Well, let me tell you, I stuck with a dead marriage for almost 2 decades, and it wasn't for love of her, it was for love of my kids.
Okay, that's fair, man. Now, let me ask you this. Did your kids, were they relieved when you finally said, we're going to break apart? Ted, you said, like, your parents stayed together until you graduated, but it was no secret they didn't like each other.
No, my dad didn't even live with us for 3 years when I was in high school.
Right.
Well, I talk to them now, and they're all relieved that that's over because we can now have a genuine relationship that isn't strained by the marriage.
Are they still? Do they get along with their mom still?
None of them talk to her anymore.
Oh, wow.
So they had problems living there as well.
They did.
What was her deal? Why is it that even the kids don't like mom much?
I could give you a laundry list, but most of it is that she didn't know when to leave well enough alone.
All right. And since that point in time, have you been in another relationship?
Oh yeah, I'm remarried, and the kids love my new wife.
I was going to say, is it nice to be in a relationship where you figure out like it's okay to be happy and have fun and
right.
not be in trouble all the time and all that stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How many years did you stay? Like at the point that you knew the marriage should not be over anymore, how much longer did you have to stay in it before the kids are old enough to move on or whatever?
Once I really knew that it was probably dead end, I think we were still married for about another 14 years.
Okay.
Jesus.
Did she have any problem with this when you approached her with it?
Oh, I didn't approach her. She finally just suddenly snapped and went, I think you need to leave. I was like, oh, thank goodness. See ya.
Okay. And how about her? How's she doing now? Did she move on with somebody or is she...
She's living with her mom now.
Okay. All right.
It sounds like it played out about right.
Yeah. Well, at least they don't have to call each other as much.
Man, oh man.
Yeah. I'm always
14 years after you're like, yeah, this sucks. The only thing I could think that I survived that long was school.
Okay.
And it wasn't even 14 years, but it's like from day one, I'm like, I don't like this. But I understood and got through it.
I love my mom. I love my dad. I'm just trying to think here. If I had to move in with them, right?
No.
I mean, at this point in time, like I have this weird thing where if somebody is an adult and they need to talk to one of their family members multiple times a day, I think it's really weird.
I think it's weird. I mean,
think
it is what it is.
Really weird. Like my sister talks to my mom like 5 times a day. And they have a very close relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But if she wasn't my sister and I wanted to date her, I'd be like, look, man, she's all right. She tells her mom 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Like, man, what the hell's wrong with her? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you need? You know what I mean? Like, you need a Band-Aid? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do it. I'm not built that way.
I think it's weird.
Oh, I do too.
I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just for me, I'm like, ooh, red flag.
There's only so much you can talk about.
Right.
Or let me rephrase that. For me, there's only so much I'm willing to talk about my parents. And we're pretty open, but I mean, like anything. I'm sure they got their stuff. I got mine. There's no gossip.
When my mom calls, I'm happy to talk to her. I'm like, hey, Mom, how you been?
You know why? Because you don't talk to her every day.
Right, that's what I'm saying. How was the last week?
Yeah, right.
It's not like, how was it 2 hours ago?
Can I send you a text?
Text goes a long way, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, my mom would call every single day.
If it weren't for text?
Right, or if I just answered every time. But it's like, right, I'm just like send it.
Wait,
I talk to my mom a lot.
How many times do you ignore? What percentage do you just go,
15%?
That's fair.
That's not bad.
Right? Because that's what I'm saying. She'll call every day, just saying. And with the pandemic, it's been worse because she's bored at home.
Sure.
Oh, my mom does stuff like watch the weather. I see it's raining there.
Oh,
Mom, I've lived here for 16 years. Rains every goddamn day.
Right.
Is this a shock? You should go like, oh my God, it's sunny here. Right. That's why you call. Not because it's raining. I see it's raining there. Well, yeah. I see it's still redneck in West Virginia.
Right.
Whoa.
I like it when you get the call like, saw you guys are having bad storms. I'm like, that is at a pass in the mountains. Like, that is not Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
It's so hard to
And then when all the
explain.
riots are going on, my mom's like, you safe? I'm like, Mom, turn the channel.
Oh, my God.
Flip that channel off. You drive me nuts.
It's not the whole city. There are certain places.
And it's not all the channels. It's just one.
Not everybody. Not everyone's house is burning to the ground.
God almighty.
The fires, the drought, the snow, right? You name it. Your phone rings off. Oh, baby, we just want to check in to see if you're okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Why are you calling? Well, we were watching the news. Stop.
Yeah, exactly.
Did they mention my name? If they didn't mention my name, you got nothing to worry about. Did they say, like, Steve Hill is buried under 18 feet of snow? That's one story.
Yeah.
It's like, it snowed.
I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong. Dad's screwed.
Well, I mean, trust me, I've been in the car this summer with somebody and their brother was on there and he's like, I would never, set foot in Portland or Seattle. I said, good.
Right.
I don't want you. There's enough people.
Right.
Don't vacation
Exactly.
here. And you hate fishing and lakes and rivers and mountains.
Even in normal time, you walk up to a restaurant, like, that'll be 45 minutes. Can we get your phone number? I'm like, no, I want to sit down and eat. What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Rob. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, guys. Well, I had a girlfriend in high school. One night she invited me over at midnight, and I said, is your dad out of town? And she goes, no, he's home. He's a hard sleeper. So I snuck over, and her bedroom door was off the deck. So I'm very careful, very quiet, snuck in, and things were going well. And all of a sudden I heard her dad running down the stairs, like bolting. And so I couldn't get out fast enough, so I rolled on the other side of the bed. She threw covers over me. He comes bolting in the room, saying, "What's going on down here?" And he was kind of a big and crazy guy. And so I was just petrified. And she said nothing. He left. And so I said, "Okay, well, I got to get out of here." She goes, "Oh, well, you better know. He doesn't go back to sleep once he's awake." And so I had to literally wait a few hours on the side of the bed before I could sneak out.
Did you have sex at all?
Had a pretty good night.
Okay. All right. I mean, inevitably, you got what you went there for.
Exactly.
You want a Rocky Road ice cream, maybe they'll go grab it from the back, but it's worth the wait in the end, right?
Yep.
So much for the hard sleeper. Like, I don't buy that. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and there's certain sounds that wake you up.
Sounds wake you up.
Yes.
And anything
sounds
with
in
your
your
kid.
sounds in your house.
Sure.
Sounds that come from your kid's room wake you up.
What's the cutoff?
You
For
mean,
like kids are grown up, right? They're in their 20s, they come back. Like,
I think when you die. I don't think there's a point. I realize this now. Like, my kids can be 30 years old, and they're coming over, and they can bring their kids and their spouse, and like it's Christmas or something. I hear something weird out of the room. And I don't mean the sex thing, but I mean, just because it's your kid and you're just...
You can't stop it.
You're going to wake up. Right?
well, I'm just asking, is like, I'm the youngest of three, right?
Sure.
But like, when my brother was getting married and stuff, like, his girlfriend or his fiance was never allowed to stay like in the same room with him. Same with my sister. By the time I actually got a girlfriend, my mom was like, yeah, whatever.
See, that's the thing. Be the youngest.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's all it is. Like, if you're the youngest, then they're done worrying about all the other crap.
Yeah.
It kind of makes up for it. Ted fell down the stairs with the razor blade in his hand. Put a Band-Aid on.
As my mom says, it doesn't matter how old you are. You're always a mom, and you're always worried and love your children. It never goes away.
I'm asking, when do they get to have sex in your home?
Oh. I mean, they're adults. I mean, I'm not going to...
If you're visiting, you know what the difference is? If you're visiting. I feel like that's... No, like if you still live in town. So if my kids still lived in Seattle and they're just driving up for the day, like... I'm not okay, but they live in our favorite place, Delaware. And they've flown, and I know you're just dating this broad, but like, okay. If you had to buy a plane ticket, you're going to have sex in the house.
My rooms are too close.
Maybe not that room.
I don't want to. Like, I don't have fans going and all this noise stuff happening. You know?
Can you do it in the basement and close the vents?
Please.
I just don't want to
go out and have sex in the yard. Just not here.
I just won't look.
Right. What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Bro, gnarly. What's up, Taylor? Dude, that nerd in his electric hybrid totally blew the light while texting his yuppie friends.
That's so bogus, bro. Are you hurt?
Yeah, like I can't move my hips, bro. I think I broke my pelvis, man. Dude, no way.
Taylor, you need to drop a dime and talk with the lawyers at the Advocates Law Firm.
No way, can't afford that, bro. Your crotch is broken, man, and they don't earn any money unless they win your case. Dude, no way. You get injured, the advocates get results. Contact me today at advocateslaw.com.
The men's room is in progress. 99.9 KISW and KISW HD1 Seattle.
The man was left with uncontrollable pain after he tried to enlarge his penis with a metal ring, as he wanted to impress his girlfriend on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
The man from Bangkok, Thailand, believed that putting his genitals through a nut would enlarge it and strengthen it by forcing blood into his glands. He used a baby oil to slide the ring on. However, the attempt to enlarge the private part turned out to be a horror, as the man was rushed to the hospital after the metal ring got stuck. Next day, his penis started to swell. He experienced pain, tried removing the ring, but in no vein. Quote, I was terrified that I would need my penis amputated. It had swollen so much that I thought it would burst. The nut was stuck around the base of his private part since Friday morning. Once the medics arrived at his place, he was rushed to the hospital. The metal ring was carefully sliced through with a metal cutter in an hour-long operation as the man cried with pain throughout the procedure. Ring had a diameter of about 3 centimeters, which is about what, that?
That's about an inch, right?
It's not much. Doctor used a handheld steel tool, a pair of pliers, and a thin metal sheet to avoid the slide under the ring and avoid the man's skin from being cut. The metal nut was removed without a scratch on the man's penis, according to the surgeon, who was obviously quite proud of himself.
So he's bragging about it.
Yeah.
Not a scratch on that one.
Exactly. He was prescribed antibiotics and an anti-inflammatory cream to reduce the swelling. That's the last thing you want to do is put a cream on your penis to make it smaller.
Right.
Quote, this was one of the strangest cases we have ever encountered. No kidding. Our question, what dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Damon. Welcome to the men's room.
Hey, how you doing today? Hola.
Hola.
So me and my buddy, we're from Maryland. So we were in Laurel, and around the corner was this girl I was dating. And we ended up, we wanted to go ahead and go to her house and, do some things. So he was downstairs with her friend. I was upstairs with him, with her friend. And we're up there, and she, sure enough, starts yelling, "My grandma's home." So I hop out the window, jump off the roof, and run to his house. The next morning, his father goes to the window that we snuck out of and says, "There's a broken branch right there. Did y'all sneak out last night?" And we were like, "Oh, shoot." Yeah, so that's the crazy thing that we did.
Grandma's home.
Yeah, grandma's home. It was out.
And Grandma doesn't knock.
I was going to say, is this your standard Maryland grandma? So she's going to come in there and, beat you with a wooden spoon or something?
And the food she's carrying?
She chases to the driveway. That's about all she did. But, yeah, she cuts us out about all the way down there.
Yeah. Oh, man. Makes you miss home.
It does make me miss home. I saw her about a few years later, though. She was a stripper, so that was a good thing right there.
Wait, was she working at that small club in Beltsville?
Did you actually...
Wait, which one? The one over there in the hole in the wall, you can take your own drink in there if you have a red Solo cup?
Yes.
Yep, that's the one she was working at. She got a butterfly tattoo. If you ever seen her, you know who she is.
All right.
I've been there myself.
Did you know she was working there, or were you surprised to see her up on stage?
No, what happened was I was sitting down with the drink in my hand. A chick sits on my lap. And I say, "I don't want to dance." She says, "Damon." And I said, "Oh, my goodness."
So it was on the house.
So wait a minute. Is it on the house, or do you have to part with your money at that
point? Better be on the house, right?
Oh, no, I ended up going to her house afterwards, so it's okay.
You finally got it accomplished.
With no grandma.
No grandma this time.
Now, who was it? Was it you, Miles? Like you were at a strip club in college or something? Like your buddy's sister? Or something?
Yeah. She was, that was not good.
So you're there with your buddy, though?
Uh-huh.
Just to be there?
Yeah.
He did not know she worked there?
That's his younger sister.
And she rolls out on stage?
You gotta remember, we're like 19.
That story's battled too.
What is his reaction? Does he shut it down? Does he let her dance?
He lost his mind. I've never seen a man on a stage at a strip club before.
Oh.
Who wasn't get a bachelor situation in a chair.
Getting beat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, first time I've ever seen two siblings up on stage.
Wow.
One dragging the other one off.
Oh, God, that sounds awful.
Not only that, but I didn't be in the car with it. I'm in the car. Now.
Wait, he dragged her out. Now you're in the car with him and her.
Yeah, he's taking her ass home. Yeah.
Did you say anything or did you just shut up?
What do you know me, man? I want to say all kinds of things. But I don't say anything.
Right.
Because my buddy Craig was a big dude. You know what I mean? So it's like...
Hey, Craig, if you were smaller, I got so much I would say.
Oh, my God, man. He's going to kill me. if I said anything, because he just give you a look like, I'm going to kill you. I've always wanted to. What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
That's so awkward.
It's so weird.
Just to sit in the car like,
man.
It's going to be quiet.
We were really actually just like, let's just get a beer, man. Let's stop in here. This place is going to be, it's an oldie but a goodie.
Sure.
Let's just see what's going on. The beers are cheap. You know what I mean? It's on the way home.
And there's this.
Ah, God.
Who recognized her first? Were you like, hey, man, isn't that your sister? Or
I was at the bar ordering drinks.
Okay.
And she had just came out on stage. But she didn't have her name. It wasn't her name. She had a different name.
Of course.
Well, yeah,
so I didn't even turn around. They didn't go, "It's Brooke."
Right.
It's like, no. It's like, it's, Skylar, or something like that.
And you turn like, oh.
That's not Skylar, that's Brooke.
That's always the awkward
Oh,
thing.
isn't Brooke a junior in high school? God damn.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah. This is West Virginia, man.
That's what I'm saying.
This story was messed up on so many levels.
I mean, at least in Baltimore, if you're a junior in high school, you're still probably 26.
My question is, what are you doing with your money? Like, you don't have a car or nothing. You know what I mean? Like, why are her asses here?
Well, that's different because it's your buddy's sister.
Right.
But, like, I've definitely been to strip clubs where, like, you recognize somebody working. And then it's that awkward thing of, like, will they talk to you? Will they not? Do they care? Generally, they're like, well, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I don't care. You're a stripper.
I mean,
You know what it's
okay,
like?
so you didn't know in advance.
It's like
Right. You just show up and then, like, you know me, I've already had a few drinks. It's like, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
It's like,
You're waving them down.
have you ever guys?
No, it's Ted.
Have you guys ever seen your psychiatrist or counselor out, outside of the office?
It is so awkward.
Oh, they don't want to even acknowledge
No.
that you exist.
Nope.
You are not a person on this planet. They've never talked to you for hours and hours on end and charged you hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. They just look at you and just raise your glass like, yep.
We'll talk about your drinking problem next week.
He puts his head down real quick like, oh, God, oh, no. Now I know
Dude, I'll tell you what.
Now I know what my wife looks like.
I'll take that because that's happened to me before. The worst is like, say you're working out with a personal trainer, you're just in a bar getting hammered and eating and stuff, and you look over like, why is he in this bar?
You got a mozzarella stick hanging out your mouth.
Right. And then you're going to go in on a Friday and be like, no.
Cheat day was Tuesday.
I was good this weekend. Like, no, you weren't. You guys were there for both sets of games.
There's some code, though, with psychiatrists. Like, they can't acknowledge you if you're outside of their office. You know what I mean? Like, they
Can we talk for a second,
You don't
Doc?
exist. You just want to go over and go, I just got one question about that call I'm supposed to make.
You know,
Remember, that was
a
the whole
messed up as you
You know,
are.
it probably would be better if we talked about that on your appointment on Tuesday on 10 a.m.
Nah. This is great.
I'm drunk.
That was a whole episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Really?
When he runs into his psychiatrist, and he's like, basically the psychiatrist, he's like, I can't tell you anything, but it's a famous Hollywood director who has a penchant for hookers. And he may have made a giant movie about space and wars. And he's like, you're telling me it's Luke or like
George Lucas.
George Lucas. Like, what are you doing?
What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-4200.
Hello, John. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, boys.
Hola.
So when I was 17 years old, I had a girlfriend. She was also 17. And we used to do it like bunny rabbits. I mean, constant. Her mother hated me. I mean, like, with a passion, this chick hated me. We got caught once upon a time doing it in her mother's bed, and she was pissed. Well, we ended up breaking up over it. 2 days later, I go back to her mom's house because I had, like, some CDs and a T-shirt or something at her house. I just wanted to grab my crap and get lost, Well, I knock on the door, and her mom answers the door, and she's like, what do you want? So I tell her, I was like, I just want my stuff back. And she's like, get your crap and get out, And so I go back into my ex-girlfriend's room, grab my crap. I'm heading on the way out the door. The door's open to her mother's room, and she says, get in here, you piece of garbage. Lots of more expletives, but she was naked. I ran in there and hit it for all I could at 17. Broke a condom.
Oh.
And I woke up the next day in flames.
Oh, no.
Raging case of chlamydia. So I go to the doc to get treated, and they won't treat me because I'm a minor.
But you still have chlamydia.
What's that?
But you still have chlamydia.
I know, but they wouldn't treat me because I was a minor. I had to have parental consent.
And how the hell did she not know she had it? That stuff burns like the daylights.
I'm kind of thinking she knew she had it.
I think she did too. Let me prove I hate you. Get some of this
Well,
and
for
light
some
it on
reason,
fire.
I thought my mother would understand this more than my father. I should have chose my dad. Oh my God!
Did you explain?
You told your
mom? You explained to your mom exactly how you got it?
No, I just say, hey, Mom, I think I got chlamydia. I got to go get a shot or whatever. For some dumb reason, I thought my mom would understand better than my dad. Boy, was I a sucker. So I go to the doc. She signs the release form. I go to the room. I'm sitting there waiting for the doc, and the doc walks in. The door's cracked open just a tiny bit. And I spill my guts to the doctor because it's a horrible story. Well, it's a great story now that I don't have it. But I spilled my guts to the doc. My mom was standing outside the room the whole time, heard the whole thing. And so when I come out of there from getting a shot in the butt cheek and a prescription for some antibiotics, I come out of the thing, and my mom didn't even give me a ride home.
Oh, really?
She made me walk, and she did not speak to me for another 6 months.
Wow. Was she really
Yeah, right.
religious, or what was her? Was she just disappointed? What was her?
Severely straight-laced.
Wow, man. I mean,
it come out that I got the. If she'd have heard that it was my girlfriend, she'd been like, "Oh,
Now,
kids."
was this one of those things you had to fight through when you saw her in there, or like she was like demanding it, or was this something that you were a somewhat willing participant?
She was butt naked on top of the covers and just said, "Get in here." And I was like, her mom was hot. Oh my God, her mom was hot. She had my girlfriend at a pretty young age, and she had held up very well, and she was gorgeous.
Except for the chlamydia. Other than that,
Yeah, apparently everybody in town knew she's hot.
Yeah, right.
Which I could tell you it's nothing to clap about. But the doctor, the best part, the only thing that made it any better was the doctor said, "Dude, you got this story for life."
The doctor,
right.
The doctor.
He even knew, like,
Yeah, exactly.
this is a good one.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he's like, "Save this. You'll cherish this story later in life." Right. And I was like, because I hate it now.
And then predicated it by, I never said this, just so you know.
Right. It's one of those, you're not hearing this from me.
I never said this.
But I think you're going to be happy that you have this story for the rest of your life. Just guessing.
What dumbass thing did you or someone else do in the name of love? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Seth. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, Wisconsin native listening to Washington radio. Love the show, guys.
Hey, thank you, man. We appreciate that.
Yeah. So I was 17, just out of high school, and it was going to be the first time I was going to see my future now girlfriend, and I was going to be shirtless. We were going to be swimming at my buddy's pool, and I was like, all right, got to look good for her. So I go ahead and pluck each one of my nipple hairs before seeing her, just so I was baby smooth.
Wait. How bad were your nipple hair? Like, when you knew that she was going to see you shirtless, was your first thought like, oh, man, I need to trim my nipples?
So I'm missing the rest of the patch of the hair on the chest. Just got the nipple hair. So I was like, I got to even it out.
So it's like Betty Boop staring at
you.
you.
Get 2 sunflowers.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, we just got to even this out a little bit. And my child mind was like, oh, I'm going to use tweezers. Horrible. It was torture.
How long did it take you to pluck all of your nipple hairs?
I was pretty precise. So it was about an hour.
Did she notice?
I told her about a week later, and she said, please never do that again for me.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But you keep doing it for me, baby, just so you know. I still don't mind either.
That's a one-way road.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to do it, I'm cool. That's always a strange discovery, isn't it?
Only one person comes to mind, but anytime you bring it up, same person comes to mind. And it was just one, right? It was one hair, and for whatever reason, it was as thick as like 6 hairs.
It is. It's like the ones that are either like in your ear or on your ear, or like there's certain spots on my body where like I'm like, what, like in my nostrils?
Like, why are you so thick compared to the hair?
Why are you wiry and
everywhere
thick?
else?
Like, you know what I mean?
And the room wasn't well lit because, it's that time, early 20s, we're going to do this thing, and I'm heading in that direction. And I remember I feel something like just poke the outside of my nose. So you kind of pull your head back, kind of brush my face, go back, and I realize there's like a curb finder style thick ass nipple hair here.
Oh, no.
But I'm going to fight through it. I'm not going to say anything.
I woke up.
I kind of moved to the other side.
I woke up, the light was coming through the window, and she was laying on her back, and I looked over, and all I saw was like 2 inches sticking straight up at her. I didn't see it at the time. I looked over, I was like, oh, damn. Look at that thing. It's huge. Like, how do you miss that? You know what I mean? Like, how do you not know that's there?
I want to ask, but you can't, because you kind of lay in the bed after. So I'll be like, look, man.
I'm cool and all. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind your hair.
We've had a great time. You have this massive, thick-ass nipple hair, right? I mean, like,
there's no way.
Thing, how do you, hair. I mean, but it's one. But it's so, how do you not know, or do you not care? Like, it doesn't matter, but I did want to know, but obviously I'm like, do not ask this question. But it's the only thing on your mind.
Maybe she doesn't think it's bad because nobody's ever said, what's with that nipple hair?
Because who's going to say, maybe I should have been the guy. Like, look, maybe with 100 guys, no one brought it up. But seriously, man, like, it's distracting.
I don't open with, maybe you've been with 100 guys.
Have you ever seen,
you're right.
You ever seen anybody with big white, like little bumps on their nipples? You know what I'm saying?
Big white bumps?
Like they're kind of like little, like, I don't know, like the white little bumps things.
Yeah.
Okay, they're called Montgomery bumps. I just learned that the other day. I'm like, that's nice. The nipples,
they're called.
The little
you
bumps
have a weird thing with nipples. Your whole family does.
I know. Like, here I am. Like, why'd they name it after me?
So, look at your nipples tonight. If you have little bumps,
they're called Montgomery.
So every time you see your nipples, think of Miles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have Chinooka.
Think about biscuits.
Why are they called?
I don't know.
Because the first woman to have them wasn't Montgomery.
Probably.
Yeah, it's my great-great-grandmammy.
I fed my kid pus first.
Oh.
Because he chomped down real hard, squeezed him out like a zit.
Called them Montgomery bumps.
Like a big whitehead. Kid's been surviving on juice.
Otherwise, Montgomery Bump sounds like a jazz player. Ladies and gentlemen, Montgomery Bumps.
Yeah. Couple in Maine left their house for an overnight trip on Sunday, and when they got home the next morning, they realized that someone had broken in, and not only that person was still there. So they called 911. It turned out a 34-year-old guy from Norway, keep in mind this is in Maine, named Sean Schoonmaker, had broken into their house on Valentine's Day, and he decided to make himself at home. So what did Sean do? He parked in their garage. He rummaged through all their things. He then made himself a nice candlelight romantic dinner. Then he took a romantic candlelit bath. Nice. He also rearranged a bunch of stuff, including family photos, and he smoked cigarettes, quote, in every room. Cops showed up and arrested him. He's facing charges for burglary and theft, but he wanted to have a very nice, intimate Valentine's Day experience. Although he was by himself, he did it in someone else's home.
If someone has to break into my house, I would hope that's the worst of what they do. You're still kind of like, hey, man, I prefer you don't take a bath in my place and make yourself a candlelight dinner and smoke every goddamn where, but it's better than stealing stuff.
I'm fine with the smoking. It just creeps me out that he had a candlelight dinner by himself. I'm fine with him bathing.
In the bathtub, too. Romantic.
The bathtub, I can deal with.
But he had candles in there, too, which to me...
But people, when they take baths, they use candles.
Yes, if you're smoking in the house, who cares?
I'm just saying he's choosing a candlelight dinner by himself. That just seems weird.
Yeah, not everything else about it.
Everything else is fine.
Damn Norwegians.
Ted versus the FCC on the way. Positive Friday. You are listening to The Men's Room.